Hello and welcome. This is the second video. This one will go through the mutators. The mutators are the part of zhuang that enables the system to change data. As you see here in the image in front of me, I have the root program and I have one additional path. This additional path goes through our mutator with buffer 7, the transform decrease, and the indexing array 412. If we wish to know more about this, under Wiki and Pages, you will find the page Transformation Functions. The page on transformation functions details the transform. One of them is order, decrease, increase, and so forth. In the example page in the wiki, the mutator has decrease, so it will decrease the data that passes through. I will guide you through this step by step in the console. Here I have a session in org mode in Emacs. My example mutator has buffer 2, the transform function is decrease, and the indexing array is 21. This is important to understand that the mutator is uniquely determined by the buffer size, the transform, and the indexing array. Buffer 2 means that data comes into the mutator. It will buffer two data elements, that is the alphanumerics, and when the third arrives, it will apply the transformation function on the data. The arguments passed to the transformation functions are determined by the indexing array. This then generates an output element or several output elements for the mutator. The third element is then stored and buffered as the first one. I will now show this. We have a walkthrough for input data A1, B2, C3, D. This is the sequence that comes in, and this is my mutator. The input is A1, B2, C3, D. The current element is A. The buffer first has nothing, and we have nothing in the second place in the buffer. The transformation input is none. It's not generating anything yet, and the mutator has not generated anything. The input sequence is now 1B, 2C, 3D. The current element is 1. In the first position in the buffer, we now have the A. There is nothing in the second place in the buffer. We do not apply the transformation function, and there is so no output. Now the input is B2, C3, D. So we are churning through the input element by element. The current element is B. In the buffer we have still A. In the second position in the buffer we have, guess it, yes, exactly, 1. We now actually we do apply the transformation function. So at our disposal we have A1 and the current elements. So how do I pass the input to the transformation function? This is determined by this. This is the indexing array, 2 and 1. So the 2 and the 1, there could be a third number as well. It could be a 3, but there is not. The 2 and the 1, those are the positions of the buffered elements. So the 2, if we do this correctly, is the 1, and the 1 is A. So this is being passed to the transformation function. The output of this is that it will decrease it. So 1 goes down to 0, A goes to Z. This is the output of the transformation function. So the mutator thus gets 0, Z as output. This is the first output. Now We go on. 2C, 3D. This is the input. The current element is 2. Buffer in position 1, we find the B. And the buffer has been cleared. So when we apply the transformation function, the third element, in this case, the element that triggers the transformation, is stored in the first position. So there's nothing here, nothing going in, nothing going out, but the mutator as a whole still has 0Z. We go on. C, 3D. The current element is the C. In buffer we have B, and 2 we have in the position 2 we actually have 2. So of course this once again means that we are applying the transformation function. First goes the second position element in accordance to this indexing array. Oops, sorry, I highlighted that for you. So it's 2 and 1 goes in, and that's B. So 2B. The output of this, if we decrease, is 1A. So this is added to the output. So now we have 0Z, 1A. We go on. 3D. The current element is a 3. In the first position in the buffer, we are storing what triggered before, the C, nothing here. In the transformation input, nothing. We're not applying any transformation, so we don't get anything. This still is the same. Now we have D, current element D. We have still the C. This is the 3 from previous iteration. Now we do apply. So I do have in the same way 3 and then the C. Out of this I get 2B. 0Z, 1A, 2B. Nothing more to input. The current is nothing. Stored in the buffer we find the D. Nothing. No input, no output for the transformation. We finalize with 0Z, 1A, 2B. This was the step through of the buffer 2 transform decrease indexing array to 1 mutator. Thank you very much.